The entire lobby went silent when the bodyguard stepped toward the exhausted single father and told him he had no business standing inside a building like that. But nobody expected what happened next. The man everyone saw as a tired mechanic was about to reveal a skill he had spent years trying to forget, and the CEO, watching from across the marble floor, was about to realize that she had badly underestimated him. If you believe kindness and second chances can change someone's life, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, leave a comment, and subscribe to Kindness Corner for more inspiring stories. It was a bright Tuesday morning when 36-year-old Marcus Vale walked through the revolving doors of Sterling Heights Tower carrying a worn metal toolbox in one hand and a folder of repair documents in the other. His faded blue work shirt had been carefully washed, but the sleeves were slightly frayed. His dark hair was neatly combed, though a few strands had fallen across his forehead after a rushed morning. Marcus had spent the last 6 years raising his 8-year-old daughter, Sienna, alone while working every job he could find at a small neighborhood repair shop. That morning, he had been called to inspect a specialized security system installed in the building. He had no idea that one simple assignment would change how powerful people saw him. At the center of the lobby stood Aurelia Voss, the 38-year-old CEO of Sterling Dynamics, surrounded by executives in expensive suits. She was known for her intelligence, ambition, and demanding personality. Beside her stood her personal bodyguard, Ronan Creed, a tall, heavily built former security professional who rarely smiled. Aurelia glanced toward Marcus as he approached the reception desk. His old toolbox immediately caught her attention. Instead of seeing a skilled technician, she saw someone who looked out of place in her world. Her expression changed, and several executives quietly exchanged amused looks. Marcus noticed, but said nothing. He had learned long ago that pride did not put food on the table, and arguing with wealthy strangers would not pay his daughter's school fees. The receptionist checked Marcus's documents and allowed him through, but Ronan stepped forward and blocked his path. Marcus calmly explained that he had been hired to inspect a malfunctioning access control system on the executive floor. Ronan looked at the toolbox and then at Marcus with obvious doubt. Aurelia watched from several steps away, seemingly entertained by the situation. Marcus could feel every pair of eyes in the lobby watching him. He thought about Sienna waiting for him after school, the small lunch he had packed for her that morning, and the promise he had made to never let embarrassment make him lose his temper. Then Ronan challenged him to prove that he was more than just a man carrying a toolbox. Marcus refused to make a scene, but when Ronan suddenly stepped forward and attempted to restrain him, Marcus reacted instinctively. Years earlier, before becoming a father, Marcus had trained in defensive techniques while working private security. He had walked away from that life after an incident that convinced him he wanted nothing to do with violence anymore. His body remembered what his mind had tried to forget. In only a few controlled movements, Marcus redirected Ronan's momentum, stepped aside, and brought the much larger man safely down onto the padded lobby floor without striking him. The entire confrontation lasted only seconds. Marcus immediately stepped back and offered Ronan his hand. Nobody spoke. Aurelia's confident expression disappeared. The executives who had been quietly laughing moments earlier suddenly looked uncomfortable. Ronan accepted Marcus's hand and stood, more surprised than angry. Marcus simply picked up his toolbox and explained that he had come to fix a machine, not fight anyone. His calmness affected Aurelia more than the takedown itself. She realized she had judged a father by his clothes, his job, and the condition of his toolbox without knowing anything about the person carrying it. Marcus eventually reached the executive floor and discovered that the security system problem was far more complicated than the company had realized. Several specialists had already failed to identify the cause. Marcus studied the wiring, checked the control panel, and noticed a tiny synchronization fault that others had overlooked. Within minutes, he had isolated the problem and restored the system. Aurelia watched from the doorway, realizing that the man she had mocked had just solved a problem her expensive team could not. Before Marcus left, Aurelia approached him. Her pride had been replaced by something rarely seen in her, a sincere sense of regret. She apologized for judging him and admitted that she had been wrong. Marcus accepted the apology but told her that the most important thing was remembering that everyone walking through those doors had a story she could not see. That evening, Marcus returned home to find Sienna waiting at the kitchen table with her school drawings spread across the surface. She had drawn her father standing beside a giant toolbox, with the words, "My hero," written above him. Marcus smiled, hugged his daughter, and realized that the greatest victory of the day had never been proving himself to a CEO. It was coming home as the same humble father he had always promised Sienna he would be. A week later, Aurelia offered Marcus a permanent technical position with better hours and enough stability to spend more time with his daughter. But she also changed something inside her company. She introduced a policy requiring executives to treat every worker, contractor, cleaner, technician, and visitor with dignity. Marcus never became impressed by expensive offices or powerful titles. Aurelia never forgot the lesson she learned in that lobby. You can never know the strength of a person by looking at what they wear. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who believes people deserve second chances, and subscribe to Kindness Corner for more stories about courage, kindness, and unexpected transformations. Before you go, leave a comment saying, "Everyone deserves respect," if you believe we should never judge someone by their appearance or social status. Because sometimes, the person standing quietly in the corner isn't weak at all. Sometimes, they are simply strong enough.